So let me open a slide. Okay, initially I hope the slide will be helpful for us. Make the things more understandable. So welcome Matthew in Python automation. And when we are talking about Python, so we are not like going out of the scope. We would be under the area of the networking security or F5 administrator. So you are also aware like Python can be used in lot of more places, but we would be getting focused on these areas, whatever our areas are.
Yeah.
So if you talk about Python, you are well aware that it is open source from the start. Okay. Open source means like you need not to pay anything to anybody, but it is increasing the popularity nowadays. And what could be the reason? The reason is that it is getting used due to its easiness. The very first reason I will say. Very easy to learn. So it is very easy to learn. And that is the very topmost, reason. Later on, you can just see that number of developers are getting increased, number of libraries are increasing rapidly. Okay. Even number of giants, like whatever these names you can see here, these are also using Python, but not a, you can say, main language, but the support language. Okay. It's doesn't mean that they are using Python only, but yes, they are using Python also. But I would like to talk about a application or website, I would say, named as Reddit, very famous, right? So which is an American social news aggregation, web content rating, and the discussion website, maybe you can say.
Yeah.
That was originally written in the list, but in 2005, they just changed everything, and Reddit is now totally written onto Python. So you can see like how extensively it can be used. But since you are from F5 side, you are well aware that if we will create a bar, okay, and in this bar, we will say human is there and machines are there. And if we need to rate that, okay, where is Python? So you can say, okay, if I will talk about iRule is somewhere here. If I will talk about other programming languages, they will lie down somewhere nearby the machines. But Python is so closer to the human, okay, very close to the human, so that you can learn it very fast. Syntax, when you will see later on, you can say that if you know English, okay, they are well understandable to you. So if you are just wanted to do something in the for, you just need to write down for whatever the syntax is, and then the commands very easy to learn. So once you are aware about the syntax, you can write down your program very easily. And as I was talking with you yesterday, if you remember on the phone, that once you understand the syntax, you can utilize your Python not only for F5, not only for Cisco, but for any of the vendor. Only the condition is they should support it. Yep. Right? Am I audible?
Yep. Yes, I am. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Sure. So in Python, if you just see the over the Google like what it is, you can say you would be able to find out a lot of statements, including this, that it is general purpose. General purpose means it can be used extensively anywhere, in AI, in robotics, in mathematics, or whatever area you say. Very general purpose language can be implemented in your different area. And then I would like to talk about one thing, that it came into the market in 1989, well before Java, right? So earlier it was not showing its popularity, but nowadays, due to its very easiness, it is getting a lot of boom. And this is the Dutch programmer who was the, you can say, inventor of this Python. So as I am telling you again and again, very easy. Okay, this is very easy. And earlier when it come, it has a version like 1.0, which is no more longer exist into the market. Then 2.0 came. Okay, little bit you can see, but again, 2 is also not there. The newer version is 3.x. So we would be working on the newer version. And one thing which is very important, that these two versions are not interoperable. Okay, syntax in the version 3 and the syntax in the version 2 are not same.
Okay.
They are not same.
Same.
So that is the reason, like these versions are becoming legacy now. And the newer version is 3.x. So it will be keep on changing. Okay, I would be gonna show you like from where you can see this. But when we will learn Python, we will be learning on version 3. Very first thing.
Yep.
We will be learning on networking devices or on the F5. Also, we will be starting from scratch. That is
Makes sense.
level 0. Okay, like very basic fundamental I will be gonna talk about, not in very much detail, because these are very easy. Okay, but yes, to a detail like you can understand and you can grab it because you are newer to the programming.
Yeah.
In maximum case, the networking person or the security person or whatever you say, so the person who is coming into this field, they don't like somewhere, the programming thing. And that is the reason they just use such kind of field, or maximum, I would say. Okay, not all.
That's correct.
So I do understand that it is now a pain in the neck that we need to understand it, but I will try to make you feel better. Okay, whenever I will teach you, I will give you a real kind of scenarios so that you can grab it with an ease. So just a quote of motivation. Python, you can feel like that it is a foreign language, but just do remember your previous days of CCNA or maybe in LTM, okay, because you are from F5 side. So earlier days, you were not aware about self IP, the automap thing, the I rule, okay, the HA. But gradually, when you read about that, maybe you work on that, these terms are very, general now. These are in your blood. Even in the sleep, you can write down the I rules, right? Similarly, Python maybe bit like you will feel in starting classes that, okay, what are those? What is OOP, object-oriented programming language, and what are these terms? But like sooner or later, you will feel like that, okay, these are very common terms, and you would be able to understand list, dictionaries, tuples, all these things are very common. One thing I expect from you is please learn about the class maybe one time after I am teaching you. Okay. So in the class time, that is good. You are understanding it. That is also good. You feel like that you are understanding everything, but in mind, you cannot keep everything as like you are understanding now. So you need to get it revised for taking full benefit of this course. Okay. So there are two terms, interpreter, compiler, very, very generic terms. What happened is, like I was talking about that bar, okay, that one side is human, one side is machine. So machine understand 0, 1. Human understand, let us say, English. Okay. So there should be something, a middleman who is converting between English to 0, 1 or 0, 1 to English, right? And that middleman can be an interpreter, and that middleman can be a compiler. So there is a very little difference among them two. What happened is when you write your code, let us say you write down your code, and now you need to execute your code. So when you are executing the code, it means you are converting it into 0-1 query, right? So when you are doing such a thing, in that case, it can be happen in one of two ways. First, it can be done line by line. Okay, first line, then second line, then third line, then fourth line, or it can be compiled first and can be done in one go. What happened is line by line means if you have 100 of the lines, okay, you are executing it, and let us suppose at line 99 there is an error. So post 98 lines are executed very well. Only 99 is having error. You need to just make that correct and you can do it again. But in that is interpreter. In compiler, it will compile the program will try to run and give you an error. It means till your program or script or code is error free, it will not let you execute even a single line. And Python is interpreter.
Okay. Got it.
Fine. Then very simple, that term nobody will ask, even we don't also need to bother about it. But in
So
when you install Python, okay, let me just open the command prompt. Give me a minute. You can see my command prompt, right?
Yep, I can.
In the command prompt, since I have installed Python on my PC, how to do that, I will be gonna tell in today's class. But if I will write down Python, you can see I am in the Python interactive session. So what is this? This is an interpreter.
Okay.
So if I am saying A equal to 10, and if I am saying B equal to 11, and what would be the sum of A plus B? It is giving me the answer. And who is giving me the answer? The interpreter.
Python. Okay, interpreter, yeah.
So this is Python interpreter only, what is giving me the answer. So if I wanted to find out A multiplied by B, it's giving me some answers, right? So very simple thing. We need not to have very much complex syntax to see these things or understand these things. Very simple, straightforward. But the thing is, this is interpreter. Let us say if I wanted to write down for n in maybe range 100. So you can see that it is just running down that program and not giving me anything else. But later on, you will be aware that this is not a way, like we cannot write down the programs like this. And we required something named as IDE. That I would be gonna come. Okay, give me a minute.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
So you wanted to run a program in Python. Python is interpreter. Let us say there is some language ABC that is using compiler. Okay. These all things are inbuilt. Whenever you are installing these packages, it would be get installed the interpreter, compiler, all things by their own.
Okay. So no, I did not get the difference. Compiler means they will check the code before running it. Is it? That's what you're saying. Now you run the code in Python, right? Everything is. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, got the difference. Bye. Good. Yeah, we can go.
Okay. So here we can see that Python is very extensively used. You can use in AI, robotics, quantum computing, or web development. So web development is one thing we are least bothered about, right? But let me tell you, you can create a web portal where, let us say, virtual server, pools, nodes, or all the information can be fetched by your program. You can build, like, see, you can iterate a program till any level, right? Eventually, if you will talk about big IQ, which is doing the same work, what is that? That is a program only, no?
Mhm.
Similarly, you can also do a lot of things using Python. But for that, you need to learn a lot of more things like PHP also, bash scripting also, a lot of things you need to have. Okay. But yeah, you can create web development projects also using Python, and that is Django, a library, so which you need to be gonna used for Python web development thing. Automation we will do. Okay, web scraping we can do. What is web scraping?
Oh, yeah.
What happened is, let us say we talk about air flight rates. Okay, so let us say we have Vistara or lot of flights we have. One application which does not provide any air service, make my trip or whatever you can say, but they have all the prices. How come? Because their crawlers will check their websites. Okay.
Yeah.
The airline websites. And these things are legitimate. It's not an illegitimate request. Even you can put a limit on the web scraping. For sure, it can be an issue on your application, but for that you need to have ASM in place. Okay. The web, advanced web. New name
Yeah.
is advanced.
Perfect. Yeah.
So you should be having advanced web for the same. It would be just protecting through the bot profile. So you can do a lot of things using Python, but again, as I told you in my beginning of the lecture, that we would be just sticking with the networking or FI thing. Okay.
Yep.
Now understand one thing. This is very important. That Python is object-oriented programming language. Okay. What does that mean? It means that in Python, it is very much give values to its objects. Objects like what? Let us say you are storing a number 10. You are storing a number 10.5. You are storing a number, let us say maybe F5. Okay, you are storing n number of things. These are objects only. Okay, so Python gives very much emphasis while storing this number, because this 10 is something named as numeric object data type. This 10.5 is something named as float, in the decimals float. This F5, or maybe I will say 1.1.1.1, it's not numeric, it's not float. It will be something stored as like a string. Okay. So in Python, you can have lot of objects, including with numeric, float, boolean, integer, strings, list, dictionaries, lot of things. And in our initial classes, we would be going through these object data types. Very easy again. So if I would say what the object is, you can say it's simply a collection of the data. Okay, you need to save somewhere, and that is you will save in some jar. That is a variable. Okay, so it would be stored into some of the variable. So let me show you. If I am going here, a value I use 10. If I will try to say that, okay, what is the type of A? A is what? A is a variable. So when I need to store something somewhere, I will say A is a variable. I want to assign some value into it. Depending upon this value, the A object type would be decided. How? If I say A equal to 10.5, it will be float. if I'm saying A is F5 Python automation. So in string, there is a syntax. Okay, for every object, there is a syntax that you will be able to understand in very easy terms. Okay, so if you will check the type of A now, it would be gonna show you as string. Very easy again. Okay, so A is what? A is a variable. It's like a jar. In this jar, you can put sugar, you can put salt, you can put any maybe rice, flour, whatever, as per your choice. Jar will not say you anything, but whatever you are putting into it, that kind of label you need to assign to. Is it fine?
Yeah, it is fine.
Okay, so this is your object-oriented language. Now, since you have objects, you can have two type of objects. Okay, one type is mutable and second is immutable. So you can see there are some jars. Under the jars, you can put the jellies or maybe whatever you want. Now, there are two types of object. If I will, just make categorize in two broader choices, that would be, it can be mutable, it can be immutable. And we are talking about objects. Now, just try to understand one example and you won't forget it for the lifetime. Let us say there is a radio which is playing a song for you, okay, very melodious song. But after some time, it is just playing such a song which you are not liking. And there is no mute button into that. You would be get frustrated, no? But if there is a there is a mute button, you can just mute it whenever you want. It means you have control on it. So mutable means once it is formed, they can be changed. Okay, they can be altered, they can be changed. But immutable means you don't have control. Once created, can't alter. So that is your mutable or immutable thing. Let me say string. String you cannot change. Let me say here list. List is a mutable data object. Some things, some terms are so intertwined with each other that I know at this time I cannot explain you both, but you try to just, grab it, and later on you will be able to understand and you can connect the dots that, okay, what are these things? So list like list. List is a data type. Okay, it's a bit like an array, but I cannot make you understand at this point. But these in the objects, I need to take some examples. So I am giving you the reference of the list. Okay, list we will be understanding in upcoming classes, like string also. We will be understanding in upcoming classes. But today I will be giving you some overview.
Okay, so variables we can add more than integer or a string.
Variable is something bit like a jar. In
Okay,
variable,
anything can go inside. Okay.
in variable, you assign an object. Object can be have any data type.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. It can be list, it can be string, it can be integer. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So
yeah,
if I put A as in like this list, A is a list. If I am putting A is bit like this, A is a dictionary.
Okay, so I'll understand more later that. Yeah, got it.
Yes, you will. Definitely you will.
Yeah,
So,
now I got it. Yeah.
Let me give some example. Maybe it will be, more valuable for you. So if I want to come out of interactive interpreter, I can just say, exit, and I can come out of it. So it is clear screen. Let me go to the Python again. Let me say A is 1.2. So if I will check the type of A, you can see that it will belong with float now.
Yeah.
But if I'm saying A is 1.1.1.1 and this is somewhat named as string.
So string, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
But if I'm saying A is, let us say 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the syntax of list, just FYI, which we will be gonna understand in more, detail later on. But you can see that it is showing you it is a list.
Yeah, got it.
What I mean to say, if I want to change maybe at the first position, okay, first position start from 0. At the first position, I wanted to have 11. And if I will see the value of A, you can see it was 1, but it changed to 11 now at the first position. But let me make like this again, okay? And same way, I am trying to change it. Can you see what it is saying?
Yeah, correct.
Or maybe let me maybe give you the example of the tuple. That will be more, good example. If I will try to do it, what it is saying? No, you cannot do it. Why?
Yeah.
Because it is immutable.
Yeah, that now it's clear. Yeah.
So if you check the type of A now, it is tuple. And tuple is something which is immutable. So let me tell you, there are built-in types, like I'm telling you list, I'm telling you string, I am telling you integers or the numeric, okay, integers, or the floats, or the booleans. Booleans are 2, okay. You should understand it, and you should like learn about it. That there are 2 booleans, true and false.
Okay.
And in Python, let me tell you one thing very urgent, that it is case sensitive, which means if I am writing down true and if I am writing down true, both of them are different. Case sensitive. Okay. It will check case sensitiveness. So in Boolean, the first letter is always caps and all the followings are the running letter.
Oh, okay.
So Booleans can be true or false. What is the use of Boolean? I would be gonna explain, but later on. Okay.
Yeah,
but
got it.
Currently, just I am giving you an high by overview that how your maybe Python class can be structured. Okay. Is it fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Then maybe we can.
And again, everything is case sensitive, right?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. Okay.
Everything. So if you are, let us say, if you are just using a variable like IP address, okay, and you are using the IP address as 1.1.1. So, and second variable, you are just giving IP address. And this time you are using 2.2.2.2.2.2.2. Both of them are separate. So if you will try to find out IP address, its value is 111. If you wanted to find out the variable value IP address in the small letters, you can see it is 2.2.2.2.
Okay. And if I create one more variable with the same name, what will happen? Is it append or it will delete or it will not allow?
Overwrite. It will overwrite.
It will overwrite. Okay.
But if I will try to check the value of IP address, it will say, sorry, you didn't define it.
Basically, it will overwrite. So we need to be take care like if it is used or not.
If you see earlier, I was saying A is 1.2. And when I put A is this, it is not giving me any error, right? It just converted it into string. The same
okay. So
A.
any variable, if it is an integer string or whatever it is, it can be used only once. Otherwise, it will be overwritten.
It will be.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got
because
it.
It's bit like a jar and you are making the jar empty and you are putting something else in.
Else. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
It's bit, variables are bit like jar. So
got it. Yeah.
left side is always variable. Equal to sign means you are assigning something. Okay, not like mathematics that x equal to y. We are not equating something. We are assigning something. And what we are assigning? We are assigning an object.
Object.
And
One
object can
last
be
doubt
of
on that.
any data type. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure,
Object can be of any data type. Like
Mhm.
I was telling you, integer, it can be string, it can be boolean, it can be list, it can be XYZ. Yes, you go ahead.
Okay.
As I told you, it is an interpreter, not the compiler.
Mhm.
Okay. Let us say you did some work on A over here in the line 1 to 10.
Mhm.
In the line 11, you are putting value of A something and you are working out till 21. If such is the scenario, it will work fine. But
Oh,
if the
okay.
same value of A you want to utilize in this somewhere, that won't gonna work
Then problem.
because
Okay,
it is
got it.
override.
Oh, okay. So it is basically line by line. Like first 10 it will use the first day, and the second 10 it will use the second day, like that. Okay, got it. Basically, it is an advantage also. If you want to use like that, we can use it.
We can use, yes, we can
Yeah.
use
Okay.
it,
Okay. Got
but
it.
but it is two-edged sword, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's correct.
Okay.
If you're not aware of it, then it is a problem.
Then it is a problem. But if you are aware, you are, just using it by your own, then
Then
yes, you
good.
can.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Now let me tell you, when you need to install Python, okay, you just go to the Google and say download Python. Let me show you. Let me open up browser. Very first link, official website. Okay, go there
Mhm.
and you can see it's 3.11, right? For Windows, go to the Windows. Okay, and you can see there are a lot of packages you can install, any of the updated one depending upon whatever bits Windows you have, like this. Click on this, press on next, okay, and bit
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
Only one thing you please do remember. Let me see if I have a slide for it or not. Okay, I don't have. It's all right. Only one thing to remember, when it would be gonna prompt for the execution box to run. Okay, there
Mhm.
is something named as add Python to path. You just remember to ticket mark that okay, I want you to add into the path. And the reason is that from the command prompt, you can run the Python from anywhere. It will be, your Windows will be able to recognize that, okay, Python is, installed and you can run it from anywhere. Otherwise, you need to go to that specific path and only then you can put the Python.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So add Python to the path. This field, you just make it tick mark yes, and then you can install.
Okay. If you tick mark that, like if that command
It
prompt is
will
in D
automatically,
colon, it will
yeah,
run automatically.
right.
Okay. Yeah. Got
So
it.
it will automatically find out, okay, this is the path and I need to edit.
Okay. But that is only from the command line, or if you run that from the Visual Studio also, it is the same.
With Python and Visual Studio, both are different things. I am talking about Python currently.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So I am talking about Python executable, not through the command prompt even. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I am just talking about Python. So once it's done, it is done. Even for the command prompt, let us say now if you are opening Visual Studio Code,
Mm-hmm.
you need not to open the Python from the same path. You need not to provide that path. Even this can
Okay.
be done from anywhere.
Okay. If you tick that Visual Studio also, we don't need to set it.
We need not to set anything.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, we need to set in Visual Studio also.
We
Okay.
can add these paths later on also.
Okay.
Okay,
Got it. Yeah.
it's not an issue. We can do it. Maybe let us check. I forget the exact, add
Yeah.
Python to path. And you see, it is showing you everything. So you can just, go over here and you can path Windows path variable. You can just check out this.
Okay.
Okay. It is just talking about that. Okay. How you need to execute, where you need to do this. So you can do it later on also, but why do we, go for a longer, maybe execution steps when we can do it then and there. So this is first thing. You need to install Python on your Windows PC, and on your personal PC also you install it. Okay, because later on you will do it only on the lab. But why always depend upon the lab? You can do it in your home PC as well. Second thing, as I told you, you can run it on the Linux machine as well. Okay, Linux has already Python installed on it. Depending upon what Linux version you are using, if you are using APT, so you can just say apt get Python, okay, and it will just install all the Python tool for you. Okay, maybe Yum, maybe Homebrew or whatever you are using, you can use those utilities over the Python to install the Python. Second is IDE. What the IDE is, like if you need to represent your data, okay, in front of client, either you will use probably maximum case of PPT, right? Or Excel, if there is a lot of data, you need to generate some of the graphs. So depending upon the size of the data, depending upon like the utility of the data, you are using different programs. Similarly, in Python scripting, you can run it on the notepad also, not an issue. Okay, not run, maybe I will say you can create it on the notepad also, but that is not a very good way. Okay, you need to install some of the IDE. IDE is integrated development environment. There are a lot of IDEs which are available in the market. PyCharm, maybe lot of there. Okay, but we will be gonna use Visual Studio Code, very simple one and easy to use. Okay, so just you can go on the browser, search for the Visual Studio Code, and you can download very easily. You can install it. Are you getting my point?
Yeah. Yes.
So this is depending upon your extension. .py is the extension, just FYI for the Python. And
So I
it's
save it in
depending upon
py.
the
Okay.
syntax. So if these two things are okay, you can open it by any of the IDE anywhere.
Okay. So any program, Python program should be saved in a .py format. So if that is the case, we can.
It will get stored by .py automatically.
Okay.
Now, let me just open my lab. Give me a minute. Okay, so you can see this is the Python lab. Okay, in Python lab, if you see all the components closely, this is your management PC through which you can take the management of any device, this device, this device, this device, this device, or any of the device. Okay. Or this is the device which is acting as your jump host also, because you require the connectivity part end to end for any of the Python program to run on the device, right? So this device, you will act as a source of Python code. So we will create Python code over here and we'll execute on different devices depending upon our requirement.
Okay.
Okay. The one thing is you need to set it up. Okay. You need to set it up end to end. So there should be a cloud internet gateway. I need to check, okay, why it is not showing internet gateway. So there should be an internet connectivity also, so that your device can install Python libraries from the internet. And that is how you will be doing all the practicals over here.
Yep. No problem.
This thing is clear?
Yep. Yep. But how
when
do I
this
access and all? You will be sharing me the details, right?
just a minute.
Okay.
So when Zoya will tell you how to access it, when this lab will allocate it to you, number of hours and number of days will allocate it to you. Whatever expired first, your lab will no longer be in use. And you need to refill to use it again. But the number of days and number of hours, whatever we allocate, we just allocate with the keeping in the mind that the person who is paying us should not be stuck in middle. Okay. So you will be having very fair number of days and very fair number of hours, so that you can do your own lab kind of work by your own within that time. But if person keeps the lab on and do not log off, in that case, in that case, your timer will run. Okay. And you can be in such a situation that you need to purchase it again. So I would say you, please do not make it turn on and leave. Okay. Use it wisely, and you can just go through those number of days and number of hours. Also, if you are just lacking down maybe 4 or 5, number of hours or something like that, that can be assigned. That's not an issue. Okay. But if you are really wanted to do a lot of projects, let us say, in some cases, what happened, person used to do some of the, troubleshooting, some of the things apart from the course. So they can purchase it in very fair amount. It is not much,
good.
or 4-5K per month. Okay. So, but yeah, a little more amount need to be added. So this is what I should be, I supposed to tell you. So that is the reason I am telling.
Okay.
So initial workbook to make this lab up for the connectivity basis. For the connectivity, you will get, okay, and this lab will get assigned to you when your lab part start.
Okay, got it.
Reason, your number of days should not be wasted. Okay, so that is the reason it would be assigned to you after that. Is it fine?
Yep, makes sense. Yeah.
Any other question or anything you wanted to ask?
No, good for now.
Okay. So how to access it? That Zoya will be gonna send you, all the formalities or all the things.
Got it. Yeah.
So you need to install Python and you need to install Virtual Studio Code on the lab. Okay. You can utilize Linux machine if you want. Okay. Just right click, start there. Right click, start there, and double click, and it will be gonna give you the console. Okay. The remote console. You can see that it is booted like that. Very easy to start, very easy to use. Later on, you need to just, stop all this. Okay. And just log it out. I am on the server, directly on the server. So using my private IP, okay, just bypassing all the authentication, even timer is not showing for me, but for you, everything will come into the picture.
Okay. Can you just show me once again, like how to log off and all, like where is that tab comes in?
Just right click and stop it.
Okay. So that takes me out from the portal itself.
And there is a logout button. You just click on logout and it will be just logged it out.
On the portal itself, there is a logout
Every
button.
instruction you will receive on the email. Don't worry.
Okay, then leave it. Yeah. Okay, I'll see there.
Every instruction you will be receiving from the email. How
Okay,
to log in, how to log out, how many hours, everything you will be receiving in the return.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So far, any doubt over here?
No, good. This.
Perfect. So maybe we can wrap it up for today, and we can start it from Saturday, or you want to continue for maybe 15-20 more minutes?
I'm okay to continue for another 20 minutes.
Sure. Then let me just wrap it up for this particular slide.
Okay.
So there is some example which is shown to you, and in this example, it is talking about the importance of OOT. Let me show you over here. Let me make it smaller. I just wanted to, in the bottom, I cannot see more. So if I am just saying A equal to 10, B equal to 11, and I am saying A plus B, you can see it is giving me the answer 21, right? Let me minimize it because it is somewhat. Okay. Is it fine now?
Yep.
So you can see the answer is 21. But if I'm saying A is 10, okay, A is 10 and B is 1.1, and I wanted to have A plus B, again answer is 11.1. But if I'm saying B is 5 and I wanted to add these two, what it is showing you?
Error.
Integer and strings unsupported. So unlike other language, which may show you like they can be showing you the answer like 10 by. Python so much focused on their object data types. Okay. So if it is integer and if it is Boolean, it's okay. But if it is string or something like that, no, not okay. Let me show you. If I am saying A is 10, now I am converting A as a string. Okay. B is also a string. And now if I will do A plus B, it is showing you something 10 by, but it's not like addition.
Yeah, but it's not max at all.
Yeah, it's like your appendation, the string concatenation, maybe you can say. Getting this point?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So it is more towards your object-oriented programming language. Okay. One thing I was talking about variable, that in the left side, it would be your variable. Right side, there should be any object. Object can be of any data type. And data types are many. Okay, which we will be going to learn later on. I also talk about that this equal to sign means assignment. It's not equating something, it's an assignment. But let me tell you, when you are writing down any of the variables, do not write it by any name. Okay, just like A, B, C, or whatever. These are not a good, maybe I will say naming convention. Okay, it should be having a proper name. Like if you are giving a welcoming message, you can just write down welcome message equal to welcome to our website or whatever you want to give. Okay. If it is an IP address of F5, you just say IP address F5. If it is IP address of router, you can say IP address router 1. Okay. Use some names which are more meaningful or significant to you. Because later on, when you are writing down your program and you need to see your program later on down the time, you should not be able to confuse that, okay, what I have written it, what the A is doing, what the B is doing. Okay. It should not be the case. So whenever you are writing down, write down it very purposefully that you can understand it. Until or unless you don't want to share your code to somebody. So you can write down it for the good way. Okay. Then as I talked about IDE, we will be using Visual Studio Code. Okay, Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, we can run a lot of programming codes, but there we will be selecting that, okay, we need to go for Python. Let me see if I have the Visual Studio Code on my PC. It should be, but let me check. Give me a minute. Okay, it's opening. Here we go. So you can see, it not be open. Okay, maybe it's all right. So you can see this is the Visual Studio Code. Okay. From here, if you see this box, you write down Python here. Put enter. Okay. Can you see this is installed for me? For you, since it should not be installed earlier, you can just click like this install, and it will be get installed for you. Okay. Now, if you wanted to create a new file, you just say that new file I want to create. Okay. What happened?
Hello? Yeah, okay.
Python file it is. Okay. Now let me say I wanted to print something. Print is a function to print out something. I'm saying welcome to the class 1. Okay. Now I need to save it. Maybe save over the desktop. Can you see the Python type is the file type is Python. So let me save it with the name print usage. Okay. Can you see it is print then underscore usage.py and it is a just print message. Now, if I will just click over here, the run command, you can see it is showing me that welcome to the class 1. Similarly, if I will go to the CD, so maybe CD or under the HP only, maybe desktop, yeah. Python, and post that, what was the name? Print usage.py. If I put enter, even I can execute from here also. Are you getting my?
Yep, got it.
It means that it's not that you are writing down something in the ID that can be open into that ID only. It's not ID dependent. It can be open from anywhere.
Yeah, got it.
So print is a very simple function, okay, that you can use maybe during your if you wanted to present some value.
And secondly, when you open the micro,
first I install Python on the Windows.
Okay.
And second, I install IDE, which is Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
Third, under the IDE Visual Studio Code, I just enable the extension which is named as Python, so that my Visual Studio Code able to execute these files and can show me lot of things. How? Let me show you. See, if I am writing down print here, okay. See, if I am writing down print here, it is giving me print function. It is talking about all of the things. Why and how? Because this extension is installed under it.
Okay. Yeah, that is what my doubt. Like you enabled an extension here. Is it really taking the Python program you installed on the desktop from the backend, or is it? Because
Eventually,
if you don't,
eventually it cannot run the file if you don't have on your desktop.
Okay, yeah. So basically, that Python is a mandatory to be installed on your desktop to IDE to run
your desktop. Right.
Okay, so this itself is not having any capability to run the Python.
Okay. But obvious because it is utilizing the
backend. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So you can just erase everything from here. Okay. So far, any doubt?
Yeah, good. Like
one IDE by default come with Python package. When you install Python package, it come automatically named as IDLE. Okay. You can just search it over the Windows. Just press Windows button and search out IDLE, and it will get appear in front of you. If you see, it's a bit like your Python interpreter only. Can you see? A equal to 10, okay, B equal to 5, bit like your Python interpreter, A plus B. See, interpreter.
Okay.
So it's bit like your Python interpreter, and you need not to do anything explicitly. So if you wanted to find out the help, you just write down help and put enter. Now you under the help menu, it is saying, okay, write down anything. Let us say I wanted to search for the module. Okay. I'm just going for the modules and putting enter. Okay. It will give me all the module list that, okay, these are the module list. What you wanted to check. Okay. Or maybe any topics, any symbol you wanted to go for. Some error is there. Okay. It's all right. Let me maybe, it is showing you all the right. Maybe the topics, if you wanted to search for the topics, it is showing you, okay, what kind of topics you wanted to go for. I put 2 time enters and I come out from the help. Again, if I need to go for the help menu, I need to just say help enclosed by the, round brackets. And let me see about strings. It is case sensitive. So I need to put in the cap only strings. So strings, and see, it is talking about that, okay, double click over here because it is squeezed, and it is talking about all the methods what we can use in the string. Okay, you can see that, okay, new line, you can edit a new line, backslash, single quote, double quote, blah blah blah. Lot of things it is going to talk about. Okay, so you can check a lot of things using the help menu also. Not necessarily.
Okay, so that is available on IDLE shell only, right?
You can go over here, Python.
No, is this can be done on the Visual Studio Code?
Python, and here I am just writing down item help. See, getting my point?
Yeah.
So you can go from anywhere. Interactive interpreter, basically, you should have. Okay. You can use the PowerShell also. So if I am just using PowerShell, there is PowerShell. Give me PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. So bit like PowerShell, if you are just using the same, okay, help menu, you can search for there. Anywhere. So that is your like built-in interactive interpreter, what you can use if you want, but you not gonna use all of these things in your real environment, but yeah, you can. Now, if I will talk about again everything in a nutshell, okay. So what we talked about Python, and we see that it is a high-level language. High level means more readable, more readable for humans. Very easy. High level. Then I talked about it is interpreted. High level. Interpreted. Why interpreted? Because it is an interpreter thing. Right? High level, as I told you, that its syntax are very easy. Right? When you are using language, it is bit like you are using English language. So if you are aware about English, you can just write down your language very properly. So it is high level interpreted. Interpreted means it would be get interpreted line by line. Okay, very interactive. And then the very main thing what I talked about, it is object oriented language. Why object oriented? Very much focus on its objects. What is the data type? So if you will see a basic, heading, you can see that Python is high level, interactive, object oriented language. So
Yeah.
used for the beginners. So people like us who are working in, different uh, technologies like data center, wireless, networking, routing, switching, F5, whatever. They prefer to learn it more, and the reason is because of its simplicity. You can learn it very easily. So let me touch today the very first data type, and then we will we will just close the class for today, and
Okay.
that is numeric data type. Yeah. Tell me, you have any question?
No, I'm saying okay. Yeah, just continue.
Okay. So let us talk about the numeric data type. Very easy. If you have any number, this is your numeric data type, integer. So if I need to check the type of any variable, I will just say type and closed by the round brackets, and inside into that we'll put the integer. You can see the numeric data type is integer. Here, although I just explained about it earlier also, that when there is some decimal value, it can be it can be a float. So if I will check the type of A again, you can see it's from the float. Now, scientists can use some number like complex numbers, which we don't use. We're gonna go with such a, huge uh, calculations. But yes, this is the main numeric data type, I would say. These are the two what we will be gonna use throughout into our classes if required. Now, the arithmetic operators, what you will be using, like x plus y, it is the sum only, minus y, the subtraction, multiplication, division. If you wanted to find out the remainder of something, x percentage y you can use, okay? You wanted to negate something, you can say minus x. You wanted to convert something into integer. Let us say this is a float, you wanted to convert it into integer. You can use an inbuilt function named as int a. Let me show you. Current value of a is what? A float.
Yep.
I am saying type of a is float, but I wanted to convert it into integer. I will say int function and will say integer of a. Now integer value is 1 dot something something, but integer of a would be only 1 because it is removing your decimal part. Similarly, if a is equal to 1 and I wanted to make it into the float, so what would be the float of a? It would be 1 dot o. Are you getting my point?
Sorry, like that when you convert that to integer a, so it is still showing a float number, right? So
No. Integer of a is 1, but
okay.
a value is unchanged. We didn't change the value of a.
Oh, okay. So like in this stage, if you do a plus 1, but suppose you just give b is equal to 2, so it will be a plus b will be 3 only, not 3.111, is it?
So now what is the value of a? A value is 1. B
Okay,
value what you want?
3, just put 3.
3. Now
What is
a plus b would be 4.
okay, but still a is 1.1 point something.
No. A is 1. But if you wanted to do a is 1 dot o and you wanted to check the a plus b, it would be 4 dot o.
Okay, so but here, like if you go up, you did not change a, just change the type to integer only, right? You did not change the value of
No.
a.
A is float. A is float. B is 3.
No, on the above screen, can you just go a little above? Okay, so okay, just put 1 second. A triple one, a 1.1 dot something like a 1.1.1.
Okay.
Okay, now here you are changing this to an integer. Correct. Now it is a float. Now you're changing this
When
to
I
an
am
integer.
saying int a, it is only showing me the value. It is not changing the value. But if you wanted to change the value, you can say a value I wanted to change to a int a. Now a value be 1.
A equals 1 second. A is equal to 1. A is equal to 1. Integer A equals 1. So integer A means it is just showing the value
It's
of
just
A.
showing because it's an interactive interpreter.
Okay. A is still the above value only. A,
Ah,
1 dot 1 dot. Okay. Got
yes.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So that is your numeric data type. Carried out.
Yeah. Good. Maybe I'll run some of that. Then I'll just clear more on it.
Now, as I told you, there are two booleans. One is true, one is false. So if I will check the type of A now, it will be boolean.
Boolean. Yeah.
And boolean can also convert it into maybe the integer. So boolean A is now 1. So true value would be in integer would be 1. So if I will say
Okay.
true,
So that is something like 0 and 1. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
so if I will
Okay.
say true plus 1, it is showing me 2. If I am
Oh,
saying
that is
false
interesting.
plus 2, it would be 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But let us say if A's value is something like welcome and B value is 3. And if you wanted to do A plus B, it won't be gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you wanted to check the value of A in the integer form, it won't be gonna happen because it's not base 10. Okay. So you can apply the functions only on those data types which allows you to do so.